right, I'm going to add on to the video that I just did because I have more to say. I know that they had something to do with Teakie's death. I had two little Maltese, Teakie and Treasure, and when I was going to school in Columbus, I was staying at extended stay hotel. I was paying $800 a month, and I was leaving my dogs inside of the hotel room. I started to feel like, well, my suitcase was definitely, the employees went through my suitcase, and then they would even comment about my clothes. At the time, I thought that they were talking about the clothes I was wearing. But my suitcases were definitely gone through, I can tell, because I had everything folded very neatly. And Teakie's, my Maltese were brothers, and Teakie, his whole disposition changed to where he became paranoid. So he was being badly harassed inside of the hotel room while I was gone. And there was a man with two large dogs who they were actually allowing into the hotel room. I wanted to sue extended stay hotels, and that went nowhere. I actually had information. They made false claims that they were in the room to do repairs. There weren't any repairs that needed done. The phone line, there was issues with the phone line, but I actually verified that they had nothing to do with fixing it, and I recorded it. I don't have those recordings anymore because my father, my piece of shit father, and just family, I hate even referring to them in that way. They have everything. They have everything because I didn't owe rent. And so from that, they have all my property that I worked my butt off to earn. So I know that these absolute psychopaths who are now just so upset that they're stalking me for 20 years because I reported the fact that they were stealing. I want to say that, HPO Stampings Incorporated to finish that they were stealing customer credits. But at the same time, now, wait a minute, is this now more Bob and Cindy Dolanski and Christine Maselli and whoever that OBGYN doctor is. I don't remember his name. Is this them? Because that would make more sense, because they were also coming into my condo, because when they started messing with my livelihood, they started immediately. My condo went into foreclosure. Me, the one who works my butt off. And that's when it started. It started in 2004, because they started coming to all of my jobs. I was waitressing, and they would lift the tips up. They would go up and they would lift the tips right off of the table of other people, of other servers. So I knew right away that something was happening, that it had started. They were coming into my condo when I was staying upstairs. I was allowing anyone to just come through and just, look at it who wanted to buy it. But I had cameras out. They were finding the cameras and stealing them, stealing the footage, stealing the recordings that I had inside of the flash drives that I had inside of the cameras. So complete crooks. These guys are absolute crooks. I had called the mayor of Brecksville, and he seemed to be pretty on board with Bob and Cindy Dolanski. So, this is that's not God. That is full-blown Satan. But they have to be victims. They have to be victims, and so they want to now turn it on me to say, oh gosh, I did something wrong. I reported them stealing, and that's bad. I should have let it go. I should have allowed them to steal my monthly, I think it was $150 association fees. I should have, and I'm kind of thinking, this is Bob and Cindy Dolanski now. It's possible that it's also HPL Stampings Incorporated. It could be both. It could be both kind of just clashed together. And I had two sides coming after me. Whether or not I also had my father tracking me because he didn't like my independence, I don't know. But this is 20 years later. So we have people who don't like the fact that I recorded them stealing over $50,000 as far as HPL Stampings Incorporated goes. And then as far as Bob and Cindy Dolanski, well, it was either, those association fees were either $150 or $105 a month. So, go ahead and that's over $12,000 a year from 5 condo units that they were stealing money from. But I was mean to say, well, that's wrong. I don't want over $12,000 of my money being stolen, and I'm going to report you. Well, I deserve now to be stalked for Teakie and Treasure. Treasure actually had jumped off of the bed to help his brother Teakie, and he split his shoulder blades. These are 2 little Maltese. So go ahead and think of what you want to do to these people. Because let's just go ahead and just think about it. But now, I'm wrong. I'm wrong for not allowing criminals to be criminals, for allowing individuals who killed my cat. That guy who sent me that video through Reddit for our cats, he poisoned my cat with antifreeze, and he sent it right to me. They harmed Teakie and Treasure. They came into my jobs. They stole over $12,000 from me a year, because I moved in there in 2004, and then it went into foreclosure, and I couldn't find anyone to take it, and so I was like, take it. And so, it was 2010. So at least when I was able to afford the association fees before they started to attack my life, which is totally illegal. So they stole $12,000 just from me alone, okay? In addition to everyone else. But that makes me a narcissist because I was thinking about not only about myself, but other people. That makes me a criminal because I was reporting their theft. That makes me a psychopath and a sociopath because I was reporting their theft of over $12,000 a year from 5 units. And it makes me a sociopath and a psychopath that I'm also, that they harmed Teakie and Treasure, my Maltese, and killed my cat with antifreeze. So that makes me satanic too, because God would do the opposite, God actually, wait a minute, got that wrong, because God would do the same thing as them. God would steal over $12,000. I'm being sarcastic right now, but this is what's in their fucked up heads. Excuse me, but it's true. God would steal over $12,000 a month, a year, from over 5 units of condo units. God would harm two little Maltese by going into someone's hotel room. God would falsify documents, court records about a person. God would defame someone's character. God would arrange assault against a person. God would harass a person. God would arrange for physical and sexual assaults to be committed against a person. God would kill a cat with antifreeze. My goodness. So I didn't know all of this, okay, because I thought that God sends his good people in to say, I need you here right now because I need you to take care of this. That's what I thought, because I thought God is good. But I guess that these psychopaths, I must be calling them psychopaths, incorrectly, because they didn't have any feeling to poison my cat with antifreeze. They had no feeling to harm Teakie and Treasure, no feeling to arrange sexual and physical assaults against me, to have me harassed, to defame my character, to call every single job, including People Ready. And People Ready actually decided to participate. Winolo decided to participate. So, they have claimed without any feeling, without any conscience whatsoever, that I'm an alcoholic, that I'm a drug addict. So I guess that when they say that I now want to cry victim, and I can't do it on my own, well, that's obviously them, because I've been dealing with this for 20 years. I would like to see them deal with something like what they have done for 20 years. And I still don't consume drugs. Chemicals, I'm very sensitive to chemicals. Dust tears my hands apart. When you have seen my hands and they have been torn apart, that's from working in the warehouse. I absolutely can't stand the smell of cigarettes, vapes, marijuana, and they know this, and so they arranged even to drive cars next to me, past me, with the windows open, people smoking it, or even arranging for those degenerates from the YWCA managed whorehouse to sit next to me or sit within my path, and so. And alcohol, like I said, I can't handle 2 sips. And anyone who knows me knows that. 2 sips and it's like, we didn't see her drink a lot. What's going on? I can't handle it. But these guys seem to somehow, their minds are just try to make sense of it, right? Because I can't. These guys are fucked up. These individuals are like, when people break into someone's house and they get shot, their mother then says, well, that was a little rough. You should have, you could have found another solution. So that's what these people are